There was a season in my life where I really wasn't happy with the person that I was. I was depressed, I was anxious, I was miserable, and truthfully speaking, I was losing touch with reality. And I might be like you. A lot of us are very similar. We have difficult times where we truly don't know what the next step is. We don't know even know how to execute. And so there was moments in my life to where I was truly angry, I was mad, and I was truly taking it out on people. And I knew that what I needed to do was get control of my life. And God had to meet me at my lowest places so that he could rebuild me. So many people right now that I talk to, they complain about their life, right? But what I tend to realize is when you're complaining, God is watching all this. No matter where you're in your high times or your low times, God is still there. But we tend to really see when people are quote unquote blessed, they're actually looking at blessings through a positive lens. But if we can switch our mindset and actually see blessings even through the difficult times where we're not actually feeling good, God is still there too. So that is a blessing too, because the blessing could be that you're just looking at it with gratitude. So when we're grateful about things, that shifts the mindset. So there was times where, like I grew up with trauma. My dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't a happy man at times, and then as I grew up, I was always going through some version of pain. My mom passed away from cancer. I was battling so many just identity issues with who I need to be as a man, because I tend to realize that the people that have the highest callings are always going to have the biggest battle. God has to put you through the fire so that he can sharpen you and elevate you. So during these times, I had to do this. This is what God did. This is how I really rebuilt myself. The first step was I started trying to take control of my mind. So I allowed God to come into my mind. And I think that's the biggest battle. That's the biggest battle for all of us. That's why the Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what that looked like tangibly for me was just having more time in silence and awareness with my thoughts. I spent time self-reflecting. I was asking myself, how can I truly become a better man? What things can I do to allow God in my lifestyle? I probably like you're distracted. You're spending a lot of time on social media. You're doing things that are pleasurable. You're not truly taking time and going to nature, meditating, reading. And these small things just allow your mind to get more clearer. We just need to sit. That's what meditations and prayer is all about. You're just sitting with silence and you're sitting with your spirit so your spirit can rise. So that was my first step. My second one here was I basically allowed God to teach me discipline. And I think that's where a lot of us get lost, because discipline is basically a form of self control. So, what I did tangibly was I put in fasting. I think fasting is very important for us when we walk on our journey to becoming aligned, because it allows you to silence your flesh. You need to just sometimes fast from things. That can fast from social media. You can fast from toxic food that has all these parasites. You can fast from people. There are people that are trying to distract you, and that's the next thing. God says, I want you to be time with yourself. So separate from people that are actually not aligned with you anymore. I think that's one of the biggest battles, because I was around people that I grew up with, right? Those were people that I knew they for a while, but sometimes you outgrow people, and that growth sometimes is uncomfortable because you don't truly know who you're going to be around anymore. And it's just a lonely period. You might just be isolated for maybe even a year. And that isolation sometimes makes it difficult because those old ways are calling you back. Those old people are calling you back. Those old habits. I see it all the time. People say, I'm going to stop doing drugs. And then they stop. But then that person that they used to hang around with, they might run into them at the gym or, out while they're pumping gas. And that person's like, hey, man, remember when we used to do this? And then those memories come back, and then they try to say, let's hang out. And then when they hang out, they might try to pass on something. Next thing they're smoking, then they fall in this habit of sin again. So it's important to just be mindful of where you're putting yourself around. Stop following people that aren't in divine alignment anymore. And one of the key things that I did, specifically how God met me and God told me, is you're going to have bad days. You're like me. We all have bad days. We don't have days where we want to feel like we want to conquer the world. You know, you're not motivated. You might not feel inspired, but you still have to execute. Those days are important because you're building a rhythm and you're teaching yourself that even though I don't feel like it, I'm still going to do it because I still know there's more within me and my feelings don't override what my purpose is. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, you know, because you've let your feelings like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like having this difficult conversation. I don't feel like forgiving people. I just don't feel like it, so I'm not going to do it. And then we just fall victim all the time to just our pleasures, you know, and I think that's a huge, huge problem. The next one here is I started talking to God for real. This is the truth. Not perfect prayer. There's a lot of things, like a lot of people think you have to be perfect. God never called for a perfect individual. He just wants a willing vessel, a surrendered vessel, an obedient vessel. So, you know, I would just say, God, I feel lost right now. Can you teach me the way? Can you show me the way? I'm struggling right now. I know it's not perfect, but I'm still trying to walk with alignment with you. Can you help guide me back to where I need to be? Can you surround me with people? Can you give me a sign? Can you just show me how I need to become a better man? And in those moments, that's when I truly found peace in the silence and listening to my spirit and just being around. And then, you know, sometimes God will put you in the perfect moment. So you'll be around people that are aligned with you, and then you'll start to feel good. If you're watching this video, this is probably divine alignment. You're hearing God speak to you right now in this very moment, and people can give you a message from God that is confirmation that you're on the right path. And we need to understand that God is not distant. God is not far away. God is within you. God has always been within you, but sometimes we feel like we're in this low place. God, I'm shameful of myself. I committed sin. I don't feel good. I'm depressed. I'm lonely. I'm anxious. I'm mad. I have hatred in my heart. And so sometimes people don't want to forgive themselves or forgive other people. And that puts like this block and this barrier, and you're blocking your own blessings. But if you truly want to take yourself to a position to where now you look at that perspective switch, just have a switch that, God, you put me through these difficult times, but now I'm literally a walking testimony. Now you can use me as a vessel to radiate your light and your love to people that need to hear a message. I'm going to just embody the mission that God gave me, and I'm going to understand that I have a calling over my life, and I'm going to embrace that calling, and I'm going to walk in purpose and move with individuals that are going to hold me accountable and hold me responsible. So if you're ready to be a part of something that is going to help you grow daily, subscribe to the channel, hit the like, share this message so we can all understand that dark times, these difficult times, is where God's going to meet you, because he wants to break you before he can build you, because he wants to actually make sure that your cup is empty so he can pour back into you. All praises to the Most High. Until next time, peace.